I'm like torn on it because there's so many times where like the writing is like
Yeah, I didn't even
hit your head against the wall,
that
dumb.
and that
Like
didn't
lazy.
even.
But there are the acting in this show is really like there are so many scenes that like grab me though at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, like he said,
Talos and
Fury
and then
scenes are
Fury
great.
and Rhodey. Like there have been so many good like like
Dialogues.
there have been really well written dialogue scenes
Yeah.
for characters, and there are really good character on character scenes. But overall, when it comes to the plot, there's just been some weird choices when it's like, oh, we need to get here, so we need this to happen in order for us to get here. It's like, well, how are we
Right.
going to do that? Well, let's just do this.
If I gotta be 100% honest, the review that we're gonna do at the end, I mean, shit, I probably should have just watched the episode a second time because, yeah, I'll leave it at that for right now.
Oh boy,
I mean,
that's going to be a rough one to get through. Then, oh boy, okay, oh boy.
yeah, it's
We will piece it
It's all
together as a team.
that's all right.
That's why there's three of us, baby.
The Trinity,
Trinity.
not the Holy Trinity, just the Trinity.
Yeah,
Small T, because I guess they're the Trinity.
lowercase t.
Those three of them.
Yeah.
The Trinity. Lowercase Trinity
Right.
for us.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that.
That's good company.
Because that actually, because I mean, you're right. I mean, that is a Trinity. Like, really, Marvel, like, people are like, oh, the trio: Iron Man, Thor, and Captain. Yeah, but like comic wise, like that's wrong. Like, there's always Hulk as the fourth.
Yeah.
They just don't have like these rights to the character really because they fucked up. They're a foursome. They go golfing. So yeah.
Facts.
What do you think their tea time is? You think they're real early, or you think?
Well,
they're
I mean,
6 o'clock?
Real early is the only way to do it, so you can get drunk all day.
I was gonna say real early is the only way to do it, but let's be honest. With Stark, they probably don't roll around out there until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon because he's probably hungover from the previous day.
Or
Yeah,
that's why you
that's
just
true.
don't. That's why you just don't stop
That's
drinking.
why they're perpetually in late tea times.
Yep.
Fucking Stark, dude.
Don't
Yeah.
he just doesn't stop drinking.
And then they just take all goddamn day and night because Thor is probably like, I literally don't know what I'm doing, and he probably launches the ball.
Yeah, you definitely have to be Banner.
You think he's gotta have
And,
special clubs that like
You
take
know
away
what?
his
With
strength?
his Norse magic, he probably, just like in the movies, he probably just turns Mjolnir into a club. Whatever, like, a club he needs.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Like, it probably goes from, like...
Suck that, Taylor.
Yeah.
Hell
man. Fuck you, Callaway.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 41 of Tardy to the Party, a.k.a. T3P, the weekly podcast centered around news and reviews of that holy trinity of pop culture, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. I'm your boy, J-Sib, and to my left, as always,
I'm KP here.
and to my right, as always.
The bull.
All right, boys, how was your week? Got some storms this week. It was a wild one.
Dude, short because I took Monday off to have a 4-day weekend. So I only worked for
Happy
3
4th
days.
to our fellow Americans. Did you guys get buck wild this July?
No.
But I did absolutely nothing.
We went to our buddies and Ivy just hung out.
I was asleep by 10 p.m., dude.
I thought there was going to be a lot more people there, and we just had like a ton of food, and he didn't even cook all of it.
I'll say I didn't get invited to anything or told anything. So me and Haley were just like, "Are we gonna do anything?" And we were just like, "All right." Went to our parents' campground and chilled out there for a bit, and then just came home.
We're becoming more and more just old adults, guys.
yeah.
It's kind of what happens. I mean,
And I feel like it just creeps in too. It's like things that you used to like just love and die for when you were in your 20s. Just I could give a shit less anymore.
it's making
Reached that
sense
point.
now. Like, because people always told me like, oh, you'll get into your 30s and it'll change, and it does creep. It is a slow creep.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
You don't even realize some of the things that you don't enjoy anymore until you're like in the middle of it. And you're like, man, this sucks.
I'm gonna start reverting. I'm gonna start going back and grabbing the things.
I mean, hey, I had
I refuse to get old.
Yeah.
we had a great time at the music festival we go to every single year, but Yeah, I mean, well, for one thing, when you didn't go to one last year, and even then the year before was like tame. I don't know. It's just now that we're all kind of in those 30s. It's like, well, for one thing, we could only really get rowdy and mosh and be crazy and shit to one band, and
Right.
then like the rest of the day/evening, we're just like, all right, chilling, like
Dude, I thought
my
I was
body's
gonna
dead
die.
for my body is dead for today. Like I'm
Dude,
not.
That Lamb of God concert, that Lamb of God, and who else was it?
I guess really
Can't
that
remember.
was the big thing last year that we did. Like instead, like for
Yeah.
the group of us that usually go to the festival, that was like the one. And
It was-
that was rowdy. Like we were.
dude. And all of us just, I mean, it looked like we got ran over by a car by the time it was done.
I know,
But
yeah.
That's the best of case for the way that we
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah, that one actually got pretty rowdy. Yeah.
Yes, it did. For a long time too. I don't think I've ever stopped technically.
No.
No shirt on, just trudging around that place.
Just by
Yeah.
the third song, just all right, fine. Circle pit every song after that. Like we sat there and he opened with Memento Mori, and then I can't remember the second song they played, but by the third one I think was.
When they did Redneck, that
I was gonna
awesome.
say, was the third one that they played Redneck?
I think so, because that's the big one on YouTube. You can actually see that circle pit from the side stage, and it's fucking sweet.
Nice. So I just remember like the third song that they performed, and I want to say that was Redneck, and because I remember like as soon as they started it, that's when I think I was like, all right, yep, go time, and just like you
Yeah.
finally played one I was waiting for, and just go time, and then like you said, and then it didn't stop really from there.
Yeah. And even who opened for them?
That was In Flames.
That's
and
right.
They're a very good band.
Yeah.
We kind of just chilled and watched them in Trivium.
Trivium, yeah, I went nuts for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was it In Waves? Yeah, of course you have to. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to go crazy for that one. I
Yeah.
felt like my heart was gonna explode. I hadn't
Yeah.
been running around like that
Right.
in years.
Yeah, they close with that one every show.
I wouldn't be able to survive in any of those pits. Like that's why, like even like
I
I know
don't know,
I know it's a little
man.
softer than what you guys talking about, like Warped Tour. Like I
Circle
wouldn't get in
pits
those
are-
pits or anything either. It's like, dude, look at me. I'm like,
I mean,
I see some of them big boys in there. They can destroy me.
But yeah,
and some of them
well,
like are wild with it. I'm like,
Well,
dude, and anymore,
Ninja
that's
pits
like
are
why
blown out.
that's why anymore, dude. Like I was talking about it with my buddy last night. That's why like circle pits are a thing, and they're more popular, and that's majority of what happens because like, god damn, man, just sitting there tackling each other in a mosh. It's like after 5 seconds, everyone's like, okay, I'm kind of dead. Like I don't want to do this anymore.
I feel like my shoulder would pop out of place if I did that
Right.
same kind of stuff. I used
So
to.
that's like why, like, circle pits, you just sit there and kind of headbang. You're walking really, really fast, yes, and you kind of push each other, like. But if anyone falls, it's like the whole thing will stop, and it's just they're way safe. They're
Everybody
extremely
picks
safe.
it-
Yeah.
everybody picks
I will
everybody
say
up.
that is one thing
So,
about
I
like
don't
the
think-
mosh culture that I do respect heavily is like when somebody gets knocked down, there's usually somebody like right there to pick them
Yeah,
up.
Yeah, because
everyone's
no one
like,
wants to. No one wants to make anyone, or no one wants to go to a fucking hospital. Like
Right.
I paid money still to get in and watch this shit, and yeah, I want to go a little crazy for like a minute, and
Dude, the thing
then
is,
go back to fucking off and heaving.
I swear, dude. Oh man, that was Lamb of God. That I was down. I think I had like shoulder was swollen, my elbow was swollen, my fingers were all jacked up the next day because I mean obviously you're pushing people, you're getting caught in
Yeah.
their clothing and all that shit. I don't miss that. I miss being young and being able to do that, but I don't miss it now.
Right. Yeah, that's perfectly said.
Yeah.
I miss being young and being able to do it, but I don't really actually miss it.
Yeah, not at
myself.
all. Not at all.
Alrighty, let's start off with DC this week. We're gonna start with a little Harley Quinn season 4 news. There was a new picture that was posted online with a quote: "Gotham deserves a little better than a boring ass bat, don't you think?" And it's basically Gotham City with the bat, quote unquote bat signal, but it's the Harley Quinn signal. It's got her face.
The
You seen this
pigtails.
escaping?
I have not.
There it is. Of course, it's showing on screen for you guys, for our YouTube listeners.
That's amazing.
Audio listeners, thanks for listening.
Good luck. Good luck.
Audio listeners, thank you for listening. We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Still
Man,
excited for this show.
Well, yeah, I am too, because I think the way season 3 ends is Bruce has to go into like a mental facility or something because he's all screwed up from the whole parents thing.
Yeah, I think.
And I think at the end, don't they do like a teaser joke that like it's gonna be her and
like the Bat
Ivy with the Bat family?
Yeah, so there she's gonna
Like
be
she's
like
yeah,
a hero-ish,
right? Because that's
type
the
of
whole
season.
thing with the. Because that's the whole thing with season 3, how it ends. Like, did you watch it?
No, I didn't make it that far.
Shame.
I got so many things. I keep trying to
Basically,
get back and forth
her
on.
and Ivy go through like a bad spell in their relationship because Ivy's like, I want to still end the human race, and Harley's like, dude, can't we just like do light criminal activity and just party and have fun? And then like Harley ends up like being the anti-hero that she's kind of been more and more painted, I feel like, don't you? Like, don't you feel like they're treating her like it's kind of like Venom with Marvel? Started out bad, but now it's kind of evolved, and since she's such a likable character that now
that and her popularity, yeah, even in the comics, she's kind of swung very anti-hero lately, more hero-esque. So,
the Birds of Prey scene where she inhales the cocaine and
Oh my god, it's so good.
That's so good. Beats the shit out of all of them with the baseball bat. I was like, yeah, that's Harley Quinn now. Yep.
Also this week, I guess we'll just talk about the Flash. The new concept art drop, or what potentially could have been the suit. This is it.
Yeah, I saw this.
I
don't really like it.
I actually really like it, but it reminds me. I'm trying to think of what suit that would be from.
It does look a lot like a more Grant Gustin CW suit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The coloring too,
because it's more of a darker color, shade of like red/scarlet.
Yeah, scarlet.
I prefer the one they went with because it's more, like I said, the new 52 suit, and that's my favorite Flash suit. But I still really like this one with the gold trim around it and everything, the gold belt and bracers.
Yeah.
But I think they made the smart decision going with what they did. Not that it mattered. Nobody saw it. And now I guess James Gunn's social media news. Because this was on Blue Sky Social, shared via Twitter. James Gunn has confirmed that the new DC reboot Superman will be the same age as David Cornsweet, so 31 years old, which I guess he just turned on July 8th. So there we go. It's a light news week, everybody.
Very much so. Very much so.
Oh, you can actually create an account now on Blue Sky.
Okay.
I'm on it. It says create a new account.
Oh, nice.
We'll launch soon. Join the waitlist. I don't know. The day that Elon announced all that shit, though, they like shut it off because they were getting flooded with people that were signing up.
Dang.
It's basically a Twitter clone, but it's made by the guy who developed or started, the head engineer or whatever, like essentially that developed Twitter.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it, but yeah, I've heard they shut everything down because of Elon's announcements, but didn't go dig too much further into it after that.
Yeah.
Now you got Threads too. Apparently over 70 million signups.
Because it's worldwide.
So is Twitter.
I'm just saying.
But it's also just
right.
It's also integrated through Instagram,
Yeah.
so it's a lot easier to sign up as well. But it's also
heard,
through
though,
Facebook, which is also has its own dedicated fan base as it already is.
Right. I've heard though that it's really nothing special.
I mean, it's basically just the same thing. It's still missing some features and whatnot, I would
Yeah.
assume. But
A lot of people are like, yeah, this is like they launched it, but from what I've heard about it, it's like it's got a lot of catching up to do, even to get to like it's supposed to be a Twitter, but it's even to catch up with where Twitter's at. And
all I know is I'm ready for a Twitter.
Huh?
I'm ready for a Twitter alternate. I don't want to go through Meta to get there.
Well, that's how I feel. Is personally, I honestly like this whole thread shit thing. I think people are just overreacting, being like, "Oh, this is so cool." It's like, no, you need to calm down. I think that's my personal opinion.
I think people are just hungry for something that's different than Twitter because Elon's running it into the fucking ground.
Good counterpoint, and I would say I'm with you on there. That's like why this Blue Sky one I'm kind of more watching on, because that one, it's like, well, it's the same guy who made Twitter, helped whatever with Twitter.
Yeah.
So like I'm waiting on that one.
I love how the
The
head of Twitter
reason-
that came out though was like, well, no matter how many or whatever, it's like they'll never have the community that we built up at Twitter. I was like, a toxic one? Like, it's like that's why I hate getting on your social media.
That's
Like,
just the fucking internet, man.
That's facts.
yes and
I
no. There are
hate it
some that are, I
everywhere.
feel like, more guilty than others. Like when you log on, it's just like I feel like Twitter is nothing but negativity. There are other
Like,
things where
every
it's like
time you
it's
tweet,
like
you look into
literally
something,
it's
yeah.
nothing but negativity. I don't see
Yeah.
hardly any positive shit on Twitter. It's like
Yeah.
other shit. At least I see positive stuff.
It is really weird how I will agree with you there, and it's really weird too. But I mean, not always. I shouldn't say every single like thread that I'll click on with Twitter, but a lot of some stuff, it's like, yeah, just it gets shit on. I'll say too real quick, the whole the other part of like threads, and someone kind of said this, and then I thought about it, and I was like, well, actually, that even does make sense. The thing with threads is that it's integrated with Instagram, and algorithm's really not that great. It's great for like generating ad revenue, which is what I'm sure Meta really wants in the end, but as far as like as a user, it's like, and I kind of realized this too, that even with Instagram, like the people I actually follow and like that are individuals, like I never see their posts. Like the only way I ever see what they do is like when it's on their story anymore. Like otherwise it's like a bunch of like meme accounts or like just shit post,
That's what I was gonna say.
and
Shit
or
posted
or
it.
it's a fucking advertisement, or it's other shit posting meme accounts that which are like, because it's like, hey, you follow this, you might want to check out this one. And like I realized how like when someone kind of shattered that glass for me, I was like, you know, that's kind of true. Like even people like me who sit there and like I uploaded and posted like all my photos from our vacation that I took or that we took. You know, only like you and maybe one other person, I think it was my mom, really liked the photos, and God knows if any of the other people that follow me even saw those, because again, their feed is just littered with the ad revenue shit.
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, at least that's kind of like why I still like Twitter a lot, because I mean, you still just instantaneously get like the tweets from the people you
See,
need to follow. But the thing with Twitter though is that it is
I feel like for me and you though now Twitter is fucking pointless because not that I have like a big following on Twitter at all, but
I mean,
my
I don't either.
engagements and views ever since Elon's took over, made his changes are
No-
fucking
yeah.
nothing. They're
Yeah.
fucking breadcrumbs compared to
my
what they
own
used to be.
personal ones.
Just because
are,
I don't pay my $7,
right.
and I think that's it's a pay to win social media essentially. Almost like it's fucking stupid.
And that's even with when you
Fuck that.
And that's even when you put in the trending hashtags. I mean,
And-
yeah.
and now you have
I get the impressions, but the impression is really just like my tweet showed up on someone's screen when they were scrolling.
Right.
It's like actual clicks on into it. Like it doesn't reach enough. It doesn't impress upon enough people. And again, like he's right that if you don't pay for the blue,
Then you're not.
I
getting
literally
it.
And
went
you're
from
just-
having
it's-
like
But it'll
anytime I tweeted, it'd be several hundred to thousands to literally like 20.
for impressions, you
Yeah.
feel like, or just
Yeah.
okay. Because I don't know if like the
Which is
old
just
reg-
pointless. It's like, why am I using this then? Why?
Yeah, makes sense then. Why you're like saying there definitely needs to be a new.
Another avenue.
Well, I mean, maybe that is like you said. That's probably why people were so excited for Threads. I don't know. Twitter's just so great because it is how I kind of get all my news.
Dude,
That's
I've
why I like
never
it
gotten
so
into Twitter
much.
ever.
That's
I
ultimately
don't-
what any Twitter copycat's going to turn into. You're still going to have trending stuff that's going to tell you like what's going on in
That's
the
why
world.
I'm kind of excited for this other one.
I'm excited for that too.
It's called Blue Sky.
What sucks so far is Mastodon's been shit. Vero is not really a Twitter clone. It's kind of more like Instagram-like.
What is Mastodon?
It's like a weird. It's supposed to be a type of Twitter type thing, but it's so weird in how it's fucking set up. Like, just try to make an account and you'll understand. It's like I'm sure that people understand it, but there's like different, like almost like servers within it. Like, it's weird.
Real quick, on McAfee, it was funny because they were talking about all this stuff too. They were saying how one of them just goes, "You know what it is, guys? Twitter and this Threads thing, it's all gonna be shit. And you know what? Guess what? We're all gonna be on fucking TikTok. China won." And I was dying laughing, and I was like, shit, because I just talked to J-Sib here about how I'm probably going to have to make one of those, not only for myself, but for our thing, just because it's like you said, it's like the easiest advertisement. And it's just like,
really is.
Like, literally everyone has it. I mean,
Yeah, so look out in the future for a future T3P TikTok.
yeah. We're going to discuss it off camera on how it can work, but yeah, I'd say in the future, we're probably going to have to start getting it figured out.
Yeah.
Because I'm absolutely going to start trying to figure it out for myself because, I mean, yeah, I want to get a following for streaming video games. So, because I'm like any other millennial. I want to turn my hobbies into somehow being profitable for myself. Because that's just what our generation does.
Help us out.
That should be doing it too.
And that is the American dream.
Right. Anyways, God, what a tangent to go on.
Right.
I mean, what's kind of nice is that pretty much was the end of DC News because the other thing I have is technically piggybacking off of like a review we're doing, so I can just throw that on there. In that portion. So
let's review that at the end because I'd love to talk about that. Well, Marvel news. I don't really have a whole bunch. And it's not even really. Well, I guess it is now MCU Marvel news. Deadpool 3. So we got the set photo leaks. Did you guys see those? Yeah, I mean it's just of Reynolds in the suit.
So you talking about the real ones or the fake ones?
Well, are these the real ones or are these
the ones of Ryan Reynolds are real, but there's ones of people saying like Hugh Jackman on set. I'm like, bro, that's from like a couple movies ago, bro.
Well, and also, even that too. Like some people are like trying to, I think some people like AI generated him in the yellow suit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like people were trying to initially first pass that off of like set photo leaks, and it's like, no, that's AI generated. You can totally fucking tell. Like, it's pretty bad. But
I've heard some people aren't thrilled with his new suit because it's like a slightly different shade. It looks like, which could also be changed in post. I don't know if that's.
Well, all right, I gotta pull it up. All right, Wolverine.
I just didn't know if you felt that way. I was just like, I mean, it still looks like Deadpool.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Deadpool's suit.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Wolverine's suit. I'm like, well.
Oh no. We haven't seen. We haven't seen Wolverine's. No.
What about it? So they're saying it's
a different shade.
It's like I think
darker
it's like slightly. It might have a slightly different design, but yeah, it's like a lighter shade of red, and some people have been thrilled.
Yeah, because it's usually a lot more scarlet red, where this one's a little bit more bright, but.
I don't know. To me, it looks.
I think it looks good.
I think it looks.
I feel like that almost looks like a more comic accurate color to me. That looks because isn't the first couple movies? Isn't it a little darker?
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, so that to me looks more comic accurate. To me, as far as color goes, but
yeah.
I don't fucking care, man. I ain't so nitpicky like a lot of these chumps on Twitter. Okay,
dude, what do they have to tweet about if they can't bitch about every little thing, Jordan?
Dude, toxicity gets all the views.
He's got a point. I mean, well, that's oh god.
The more they bitch, the more the
that's
algorithm picks them up.
That's actually the problem. That's the fucking problem. Is everyone wants to get internet famous and all this shit. Obviously, myself included. When I just said, well, I want to get a Twitch following going or whatever. Not Twitch though, but. Anyways,
to be fair, you said you wanted a hobby that could pay for itself. That's different.
Right.
You said nothing about being famous.
Yeah, but that's the
Can't
thing,
have one without the other.
But like you're saying about how Twitter and how it operates, that's the problem really, is that everyone's figured out like, how do I get the views and the clicks? Rage post.
Just
Rage bait post.
Just
Rage bait,
Shit
yeah.
post something shitty
bitch and bitch and bitch.
just get people to bitch and either bitch at you or just
argue.
bitch in general to
Yeah.
argue.
Yeah.
That's how I get a following.
It creates the conversations below your initial statement.
That's why like
That's all it does.
yeah, that's all it does. Yeah.
The Matrix.
Yeah. I'm gonna just hold my tongue. Well, I told him in confidence a shit post I wanted to make about a certain, like, apparently a new Power Hollywood couple that's gonna happen. But
boy.
we'll just leave it alone. Anyways,
Uh-oh.
speaking of Hollywood power couples
Ish.
that might have problems, who the hell knows? Because Jennifer Gardner is apparently returning as Elektra for Deadpool 3, coming out of Hollywood Reporter. Just as sources tell. Pretty interesting because the Affleck Daredevil movie was never well received, and then also the spinoff they did with her, that movie also wasn't well received.
Double down.
Yeah, this is a really
Double down.
This is a really interesting move. I mean, obviously, it's screwing with the multiverse. That's the only explanation with all of it. I think the thing is they just want a Deadpool movie that's like the gritty heroes of New York City, and that's like why they want to bring. Do you think that's why they maybe want to bring in Batman?
I think Ryan Reynolds likes poking fun at shitty old superhero movies and bringing those people back and
That's
putting them in a
fucking
cooler
That
light.
is facts, because that's what he did in the very first Deadpool movie. He did it to himself about the ones that he made.
This is so
Well,
interesting.
even then in the second one, when he time travels at the end, he goes back and he shoots himself
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the head.
Or like when he takes a shot at the comic artist for
We're
not being able
naming
to draw feet.
We're naming our kid fucking Cher. I mean, actually, that's a good point. Maybe this just got leaked, and maybe it's just a cameo joke moment. Maybe, hopefully not, though. I don't know.
Hopefully, we at least get to see her fight a little bit. And I mean, there have been rumors of Affleck a few months ago coming back to play Daredevil.
Yeah.
So
And now they're
don't know how that's going to work on.
So
screen
now
together.
people are theorizing more heavily that it is gonna happen for sure, since she's coming back as Elektra. They're like, oh, they're gonna have Ben Affleck's Daredevil. We're gonna get him back, and it's just like, is he really gonna get into shape for that though, or like? Which I will say, but it would be cool because Deadpool and Daredevil do interact a lot in the comics. So it would be cool to have like the two of them in a movie,
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
even if it is for comedic effect, just to shit on a shit trash movie, but whatever.
Bring them on just exclusively for that.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
It'd be cool to see both of them back in the role. If
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, there's also there's so many like potential rumors around this movie of who's gonna show up. It's like who knows at this point. And knowing even with Ryan, it's like could be all of them. Like
I feel like
True.
with Hugh Jackman, I wouldn't be shocked if like they threw in a cameo or some stupid shit with the old fucking like Patrick Stewart
and
like,
Ian McKellen, like yeah, like I would not be surprised if Stewart and McKellen come back at all. You got Jackman back. He's a tough one. to get back.
Ryan Reynolds does what Ryan Reynolds wants. Okay. It seems like at this point.
Hell, they might even have Colin Farrell just make a quick cameo as Bullseye. Be hilarious.
Don't tempt me with a good time. That would be awesome.
God. But yeah, that's most of the news then. Well, your boy even kind of said it too, that apparently James Gunn wanted to do a solo Star-Lord movie that would focus on how Quill adapts to life on Earth, since he's really foreign to it, since he's lived out in space his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Might be a little played out.
I would say that for sure, and then also the fact is like, well, now that he's the co-head over at DCU, I would feel like that would just have to be a failure for him to come back
Yeah.
to do that.
100%.
And I don't really want that to be a failure. I'm kind
Right.
of tired of this. Like, I want, DC stuff.
I want greatness across the board in the Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume that project is canceled, at least as far as James Gunn being a part of it.
Yeah.
Not saying that. I mean, they did say Star-Lord
Well-
would return, but what fashion is that going to be in? Is that
Yeah,
still
that
is
is
that
just
still a
still
Star-Lord
so- that
movie?
is-
Which
and
is
it's-
implied because it says the legendary Star-Lord, which is his solo comic run. So
Right.
it
so,
still implies that he's going to get a solo
Well,
movie. But
yeah, and Chris Pratt even said that he wouldn't be fully opposed to come back to play the character.
It would just be hard to not be underneath
Yeah.
Gunn.
So
Mhm.
that makes me think that maybe it's just the gun part that's going to be left out of it.
That
I
would
have
be
this
so
wild
tough.
theory that Chris Pratt's actually going to end up being Aquaman
It's going to be Aquaman because
because he's
Lobo.
teased. So Gunn had a post about Superman Legacy a few months ago about how I think other heroes existing or something like that, and then at the end of it or whatever he
yeah,
hit
that
a merman emoji.
emoji, yeah.
But then he also had a post saying happy birthday to Chris Pratt. And at the end of it, the merman emoji. And I was like, huh.
That's interesting.
He could just be lying, like just throwing false crumbs out there. But I noticed that and I was like, is he throwing hints?
Well, Aquaman from the comics has short hair, so I could see
And
it.
kind of blondish.
Yeah, yep. I could see
And
it
there's the rumors, of course, of Momoa
being Lobo.
potentially moving to Lobo.
Right. Which, as we saw his video, he was freaking out after he met with them. He
Yeah,
Now-
was
for
like,
a reason.
he
Yeah.
was happy.
And that's what he's wanted forever. So
Yeah.
And now, does this mean I'm slightly sad that if that is true, he's not Booster Gold then? Yes. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what his Aquaman would look like.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I would be excited to kind of see how he would do Aquaman. Mainly because he's kind of been a jokester in a lot of stuff I've seen him in. He's got a serious role in, right? Is that on Netflix or is that on Amazon? That one movie that he's in?
Oh, I know
Is
what
that
you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you even recommended
I
it
did.
to me.
It's pretty good. I can't remember the
Yeah.
name of it though. No, but he played a really good
Jurassic
serious
World?
Definitely not that. But he is in those. I mean, okay, so yeah, I can see him in a more serious role. That's really all I had. Yeah. So, Jennifer Gardner.
Jennifer Gardner. Sorry, Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
Hopefully, you're there to slap Ben if he's looking wrong ways.
Give him some taco flavored kisses.
What? You quoting South Park
I
again?
am.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a quote for South Park for everything.
And that's
You know.
true.
What's going on in the world of or the galaxy? Sorry, of Star Wizzy.
Thank you for that. No, so our weasel.
Oh, Weasel now.
Yep.
Just today.
Well, not too much to be honest. Waiting for Ahsoka obviously next month. But there was one announcement that Legos came out and of course spoiled another thing for
Hell yeah.
another character coming up in one of the new.
That's what toys
Wait,
do.
what? Did I miss this? Did I miss a spoiler?
Yeah, so
Oh,
a little bit. No, it's not a crazy one, but they released. What's up?
on the topic of no spoilers, though, I have somehow avoided any spoilers for Blue Beetle, and I'm going to keep it that way. This is going to be the first DC movie in a long time that
Going in
I've
blind.
going in blind.
Let's go.
But
I like
anyway,
that.
are you revealing said spoilers for this Ahsoka?
It's not really too big of a spoiler. I mean, it was kind of implied that this character would be in the series,
Oh, okay.
but slight changes. So, spoilers, if this is a spoiler to you, anything about the offspring of one of the generals for the Rebel Alliance, Hera Syndulla, her son Jason Syndulla, who is obviously the offspring of Kanan Jarrus, of course. They released a Lego series minifigure, and Jason is revealed that now has dark brown hair instead of the light green hair, which is basically the only connection for his Twi'lek mother that he has at all. He just looks like a regular human with bright green hair in the Rebels series. But now they're showing him with dark brown hair in this new set that's for the new series. So they're changing it. Yeah, so that's him. And if you want to bring up the Rebels, how he actually looks in Rebels, I like that. Vanna
Thanks,
White.
Kevin. I don't got to put a photo up.
We got a Vanna over here now. I love this. But if you look at the actual the character in Rebels, the only connection to him at all to being a Twi'lek is the bright green hair. There's no head tails.
So it says Jason Sandula right on the box, so this wasn't even theorized.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
it says
it's
right on the box.
Yeah, it's there.
This isn't even just theory.
Yeah.
Lego threw it out there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and I'm like, and here's the thing,
Toys suck, man.
And obviously you see that, a lot of hair changes and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I don't know if that's trying to change their profile when they're running from the Empire, and now we're dealing with another problem. But I mean, that's really the only thing that I have this week as far as Star Wars goes, because there's not a whole lot going on.
It apparently does take place at the same time as Mandalorian Season 3. The events of Ahsoka.
Crispy.
Oh,
crispy.
really?
Yes. So that kind of helps with the whole, they eventually want to get to a Dave Filoni Star Avengers movie.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a book release coming out though.
The Galaxy League. The Filoni League.
And then
and there's Jason in Rebels.
Okay, they look a lot like Ezra.
Oh, okay, I forgot that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't they look a lot like Ezra? Is that the name of the other one?
Kind of. But
Doesn't Ezra have green hair?
Ezra Bridger.
Greenish hair? Or is it not colored either?
He had black hair.
Or is
He
his
had
eyes
more-
green?
His
Eyes.
I think his
were-
eyes
okay.
are green, but he has more black hair.
Yeah.
Sabine, has the different colored hairs a lot.
Yeah, and she does, and
Oh, is hers like pink or purple?
Mhm.
yeah, mhm.
Yeah.
I think it was really really short in Rebels, and now it's a little bit longer. Of course, the internet had to bitch about that, but hair does grow.
It's
For
got
some of us.
Hair does change color from when you're a kid too.
Mm-hmm.
Like even early childhood. Like some people are born with blonde hair, but then they grow and it grows into brown.
I say my hair
This
used.
guy.
I say yeah, me too. My hair used to be pretty light when I was younger,
That
and then
does happen.
But,
Well, I just lost it, but there was also a tweet of a interview from ET Canada where they were asking. Oh, here it is. All right, I'm gonna pause there.
is this breaking news?
That's from 20 hours ago.
So
Play
not
it.
Yeah, almost nearly breaking.
It's breaking news to us. Okay.
Yeah.
So many fans are excited about all the titles coming out. Ahsoka is definitely one of them. Anything you can tease us about what we can expect from you in Ahsoka?
I can't really say too much about that one yet. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more with this character.
But it's safe to say that I was just gonna say about expanding this character. That is so amazing.
Who is this with?
That was Hayden.
So that was
That was
Hayden,
Hayden.
speaking.
It sounded like Hayden. I just wanted to make sure it was Hayden.
So I can't speak on that. But there's things coming with the character, so...
He's gonna have to be communicating with her through fucking
What are those things?
the Nether Force.
What is this?
He's got to be communicating through.
It's
the
so
Nether
cool
world.
that he's coming back and having a resurgence with this character.
And dude,
Have you ever seen the video, like, when he's going into the crowd, and they're, like, cheering for him, because when they first announced how he was coming back for
Yeah.
Kenobi, and they were cheering for him, and he about cried.
Yeah,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
he said, you don't know how much this means to me because he got shit on for his.
Oh,
Yeah,
performance
like, back in the
originally.
day, yeah.
And now everybody's just realized how good it actually was and how fucking it just stood the test of time. And so
Yep.
it's pretty awesome that he's getting the
Well,
appreciation.
our
he deserves.
generation, I think, we're just always going to love it.
Right?
I think the generation that raised us were like, God, this is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, I was
Which,
watching.
I mean, they're not. Attack of the Clones sucks. I mean, they're not wrong. like,
I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all because if you remember what Star Wars is, it's a tragedy of Anakin.
Right.
And it was
I mean,
necessary.
Yeah, it's necessary in the grand story, but the movie's.
Well, honestly, I was in
movie.
I was in this conversation earlier with a guy who said that there was a deleted scene where Anakin goes and actually meets Padme's parents
Oh yeah, I've seen
and
that.
sister and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Her
and
parents are hyping her up like, "Pfft, get on that.
pretty much. Yeah,
Like-
her sister was.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because her parents were talking about how worried they were about her, and I remember this dude goes, "I know why this didn't make the cut because they didn't want to make the movie suck anymore." And I'm like, this would be a highlight of the fucking movie and actually build more weight into their relationship and how much they actually knew each other. You have to just kind of paint the picture in your head of what happens between those two, between the wedding and rolling in a field. That's it. That's it. That's it. So they're like, oh, they spent too much time on their romance. That's what the fucking story's about. That's what it's about. So I mean, I know you guys like boom boom space explosions. That's not what Star Wars is about at all. It's a space tragedy, an opera. Bada boom.
Andor proved that.
Fucking facts in it. Oh, I want to watch that through again. I was thinking about that the other day.
You should.
Andor.
Mm-hmm. But I got
Sure.
too many other things to watch. Damn it.
I do have I have too many other things to watch.
Yeah,
I finally watched the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. That's technically the story is the prequel to the first season. Finally watched that movie last night. That was pretty dope.
Never
Yeah, I
heard of
still,
that one.
still need to watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's right on there on Crunchy.
Crunchy.
A lot of stuff on
Crunchyroll.
Crunchy.
But
They put all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on there. I was like, oh, I wonder if this is uncensored then, because if it is, I mean, I need to actually just go watch it and see. But yeah, I need to see that.
I've been wanting to see that too. I heard
That
good things.
show?
I heard good things.
Oh, it's
Ridiculous.
yes.
yeah,
you
that's
just
what I've
gotta-
heard.
You just gotta watch it. Dude.
That's what I've heard.
Don't take it seriously.
No, that's
don't
what.
take it. It's meant to. I think it's. I mean, our friend that we brought up that he like lives and breathes anime. Not really, but he watches a lot. I said to him when I first started to try it out, I said, I was like, okay, am I understanding this correctly that you aren't supposed to take this seriously and it's actually kind of a spoof of like the shonen genre? And he said, he pretty much, to sum it up, said back like, yeah, I think so. And he goes, I love it. And I was like, oh yeah, I love it, but I love it because I laugh at it. And yeah.
Those are the clips I saw. It made me laugh, and I was
Yeah.
like, this has got to be fucking good.
Yeah.
It's got to
Yeah.
be good.
Maybe I'll have to look into that too then.
JoJo?
I've heard great things about that show. I've just never looked at it at all.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am.
Um,
As far as Star Wars goes, wrap it up. Late July, Inquisitor: Rise of the Red Blade. Supposedly, it's a story about an Inquisitor that was in the Jedi Order. We've heard this story before, but essentially, the crossover goes to the new updated Vader comic series.
Mm-hmm. Was this Dark Horse or Marvel?
This one is the Marvel series,
Okay, cool.
and
So stupid how there's two.
I know
Running at the same
at the
time.
same fucking time,
But
and that's
dude-
why it's so confusing to.
To me, I'll admit, I'm just bitching that it's stupid because it's two different publishers.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Like, if it was just like...
I don't think I'm going to try to research that more. I don't understand that.
I don't either.
I don't
It
either.
blows my mind that that's a thing.
And I think that's what fucked with me so bad when I was trying to get back into comics. Is like that's the run that I wanted to get back into and stay with consistently, and I haven't been able to do it because it fucks with me. That's why I think obviously that when you guys talked about going to the comic store, comic shop, you're like, hey, I need you to pull these runs for me, or set a pull list or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm going to be able to do it.
I don't
because
know
you
how... Do
online-
you guys... I mean, is that one over there still?
Zeke's, yeah,
Oh, you got one locally here?
yeah, right down the road, the Cherry, right next to Kroger.
Nice.
Yeah, Zeke's, it's a big one.
Can you just give him, like, a list? And
I'm gonna go ask him. I think so, but
yeah. Like, the one I go to, like, they got, like, 11 different stores. So, like, you just make an account online and...
yeah, I haven't
Then
tried
I-
that.
Yeah,
I haven't tried that.
After I made up an account online and then I became a subscriber, as they called it, I just went in there and then on the back end they can change it to where I just pick them up in store.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see if I can do that because I really want to. I want to get caught up. Number one, caught up with that. I don't care if I have to catch up with both runs if they're both canon.
I
But I need-
can't.
but I
I
need more
canceled
info.
I canceled my one for the Avengers one from Marvel. it's just I don't know. It's just not interesting.
It's not it.
It's not interesting enough. And the owner of the shop, he just goes, "Yeah, I tried that one too." And he goes, no." Ultimate Invasion though seems like it's gonna be pretty sweet, so I'm gonna keep that one, and then I can get to the new one I was gonna do. I kind of forgot that a part of my Marvel news, but that's fine. Star Wars though, so
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's
comic then.
Iskat Akaris, apparently a new Inquisitor, and it kind of basically the book centers around. It's about almost 400 pages, hard copy. So it spends
So it's
a
a
lot.
graphic novel then?
No, it's an actual novelization.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No,
Jesus,
no,
what
she
the fuck?
no
That's something.
the graphic novel aspect of it is she crosses over into Vader's comic run.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't want to obviously spoil it, you know, but for those of you who plan to read the comic and or the novel, but she does make appearances in Vader's comic series, you know, in relation to him, and I don't know exactly what way, to what extent of what way, but
Yeah.
but it does. It's supposedly supposed to kind of delve into the life, you know, of this character and how she becomes an Inquisitor, and how it's still she has the light in her and the inner conflict that she has and that most Inquisitors actually have. So, people early reviews are saying it's one that you know it's hard to put down. So I'm excited about it. I'm gonna see if I can pick it up the end of July.
Spicy.
Spicy.
But it has released already.
No, I think the 17th or the 18th of this month it does come
Oh,
out, so
okay.
it's a couple weeks.
Sweet.
Yeah, that should wrap that up for this week.
Breaking DC news.
Oh
Hey,
god.
King.
It's been confirmed by the actor that plays Orm / Aquaman's brother in Aquaman Lost Kingdom. Confirmed that they went under reshoots within the past month.
Mm.
See, the Ocean Master / Orm actor recently told Hollywood Reporter while promoting his recently released film Insidious: The Red Door that he was part of reshoots for the film just a couple weeks ago, remarking, "Orm is awesome. I was him last week." This also comes after Aquaman Jason Momoa was seen posting his personal Instagram in early June, seemingly prepping for the same reshoots.
Yeah, because he was getting shit on that his body was getting a little flabby.
Oh no!
Because he's been taking it easy, and then like he was
Oh.
like kind of like firing back at people, and he was like working out in his house.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
Or at least I saw something like that come across, so that actually lines up. So
My man's was looking a little soft, huh?
So yeah, I don't know. We got some potential James Gunn reshoots. Potential. Oh, it's my universe now. We need to set up this.
well, I mean, Flash did.
Or is it just
This
typical?
is how he maintains
or is it
control.
just typical
the Flash had to do
typical
it? So,
reshoots? We never know.
yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, like I said,
Does David Cornsweet show up?
Mm,
I don't think that's possible because he just got confirmed like last week.
that would be cool though.
So,
They just fucking pull.
although I guess I could film scenes with them to set up a new Superman, and then they would just film David in a different date. Did it with Wonder Woman the past 3 fucking movies.
Facts. For better or for worse.
I don't know. It's very weird just because, like, because the Lost Kingdom is still, like, I mean, it is still technically really a part of the Snyderverse, right? I know they came out and said, like, oh, it can stand on its own, but it's like, well, but if you're not having him be the character anymore, then...
Yeah,
Right.
we'll see. You know, you gotta watch the movie to find out, I guess.
I guess.
This quote unquote rumored terrible movie that's had people walk out during test screenings.
I heard that same thing about that Transformers movie though, and that popped off with the audience.
So I literally heard the same stuff about the first Wonder Woman movie, and everybody
Right.
loves that fucking
Right.
movie.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
So
We're
who
gonna
knows?
incite outrage before it even comes out.
I didn't not know that about the I loved the new Transformers movie.
What do we want to do first? Secret Invasion, or you got your comic review? Also got
So
My Adventures with Superman.
the
What are we doing
comic
first?
that I decided to replace with the Avengers is just the new run that's going to be coming out for Captain Marvel. Basically the 2019 run to last month or this month's issue of Captain Marvel, so it's 50 issues. That is done then, and so now they're doing this new run, and it's starting with this mini-series called Dark Tempest. So I picked the first one up. It's got a pretty cool variant cover. The variant cover actually has Carol in the old Ms. Marvel costume that's from like when did they have her in that? Like the 60s through the 80s before they modernized it into the blue. You know what I'm talking about? The black unitard
I know
with
what
the
you're talking
giant
about,
gold
though.
bolt
Yeah.
that's like the I understand sexualizes the character, but I just like that. I mean, I feel like modernize that look.
Mm-hmm.
The blue, red, and gold look is cool, don't get me wrong. It's just I feel like it's just too much trying to look like Captain America.
Yeah.
Um
Well, it's kind of thought that.
regardless, our first one, it just starts out in Maine. She's in a bar getting drunk with a lot of fishermen. And then they're talking about how like there's this boat that's going to be sinking out in the ocean, and she's like, "Oh, I'll go get it," and all the dudes are like trying to like say like, "Oh, you don't got to," and even though we know it's like easier for you because you have powers and stuff, and so they like these guys like they know because that's usually the thing with Marvel is like in Marvel, I feel like the heroes don't really ever, other than like maybe Spider-Man and a select few, they don't ever really keep their identity secret. So she like instead of using her powers, she like kind of just says, "No, I can do it as like a human would," and like she races out and ropes the boat up and ends up saving it from capsizing. Um, fast forward, it then goes over to Nitro, and he's like an old man in these current runs, and it just shows him he's kind of like in pain a lot, and he's trying to get medical help, but he's dealing with AIs, and he's just basically going on these bitch rants about how like basically he's a old school boomer and he hates technology and he hates the AI shit that's being developed in the world. So he's like bitching and bitching about it for panels and panels until he like explodes. Um, which then leads us into this new darkly purplish black character who I believe is a female. She basically has powers that she can manipulate time and space. So way out in space, Carol has to go out and like deal with this like pulsar that's within a black hole, and but it like grows limbs and attacks her and stuff, and it's really
Damn.
weird. And I don't know how new this is, but I have to bring this up because I know he's probably either going to hate it or he already knows about it and hates it. There is a frame of a panel, and apparently she can photon blast out of her eyes just like Superman's heat vision. Like it literally just shows it like out. And I was like, that's new to me, but I don't know if you know that have they done that in the past with her?
I've never really been a fan of Captain Marvel.
So you just don't know.
I
Well,
have
yeah.
no
I
clue.
feel like though something like that is like I don't know. At this point it's like she literally is their Superman. I mean, I'm like, well, that just kind of confirms that that's what you want her to be is the Superman.
Yeah, it's clear as day.
She even makes the comment how like before she started fighting this black hole thing, like it was making her feel cold and like inside like she was freezing to death, and she's like that doesn't make sense, and she even says like in there my body can self-regulate because of my power, like I'm practically immortal. And I was like, yeah, you're basically the full-on Superman then for Marvel. Regardless, she does stop the thing. Then the mystery villain like pulls Nitro through a portal or shows up to him through a portal, and she says that my name is Nada, like Nada, but it's like this weird thing. Like she just kind of goes into a tangent of like I'm Infinity's little sister, and I'm my father is my father is despair, and my mother is chaos, and Nitro's like, yeah, you sound really cheesy and blah blah blah, and but she basically then convinces him to portal him to a different foreign planet that's got a bunch of technology and shit for him to go nuclear and blow it up, and he's like fine or agrees to it. So then the issue ultimately ends with Carol goes into like a lecture hall where they're showing like AIs that are new and forthcoming, and all the people in the lecture hall are like younger, and they're like, I don't want no AI imitating me. So like it's being written about current cultural problems we're starting to have with this whole AI wave.
Mhm.
So they're trying to at least relate to their audiences.
Little zeitgeist.
Yeah. And at the end of it, like the portal opens and pulls the lecture hall and Carolyn with it, while Spider Woman, our Jessica Drew Spider Woman, I believe, that's the one that's the OG, right? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
very OG one. So in the comics, they're always best friends. So like she gets there too late to like keep Carol and the rest of them from going in the portal. So now I'm just waiting next month for the next issue of it. But I don't know. It seems to at least I personally like that at least it's so far it is written to kind of capture culturally like what's kind of going on in society right now. I mean, definitely older heads definitely hate technology and how advanced it's become, and but now it's kind of getting to the point where it's getting a little too far with this AI stuff, and even young people are like, well, no, the whole imitating likeness and all that. Some people are like, let's slow down, like this is bad, and so I kind of like that at least it's kind of being written about that, and I was told that the author is like a good author, so you said that
Former Overwatch writer.
it's a former Overwatch writer, and I made the crack that like, well, I'm sure that Marvel will like her talents and appreciate them more because Overwatch 2 just kind of scrapped their whole PvE thing, so
Say because their work will actually at least get seen.
Yeah, that's kind of the joke. That was the dig I was making. I'll admit it all day. But yeah, no. So for now, I'll at least be reading this one. I just thought it was so, like I said, that panel frame of her just blasting out of her eyes. I was like, well, that's definitely new.
Doesn't really bug me that much. She's always kind of seemed like they're
Superman, anyway.
they're Superman. I'll probably start rolling my eyes when she starts doing frost breath too, because then I'll just be like, all right, then what is really different?
Yeah, I would say yeah. She does that.
But I mean, she can like blast
Still
shit
time.
out of her hands, right?
Yeah, that's like the whole point of.
It
her
makes sense why
powers
she
is-
could do it out of her eyes then too. I mean,
Mhm.
Superman can't blast out of his hands, but Superman also sometimes has electric powers. So who
I was
knows?
gonna say, yeah, we found out in Superman Legacy that apparently he trained in the dark side.
Do it.
Oh, you're talking about My Adventures of Superman?
Oh yeah, let's get on that. So next segment. You want to review that real quick?
Hell yeah, brother. So
Since we watched it, this is gonna be spoilers for you, but
That's all right.
it's not much. Don't worry. Like, I don't know how many episodes this is supposed to be.
I don't know yet either.
How
But-
long, how long are the episodes?
Like
20-ish.
20.
20? Okay.
It's like your typical. So I'm getting anime vibes.
Mhm.
It's an anime. It's Western, but it's an anime.
It's
Um,
definitely taken heavily anime inspiration
Okay.
and how it's
Jack
animated for
Quaid
sure.
is Clark. He
Okay.
voices Clark.
Okay.
Which is he's got a young sounding voice, so it makes sense because it's like literally. I mean, shit. Does he live in a dorm technically with Jimmy? Or are they just in a very small apartment?
One of the two. I didn't really actually catch that or not.
Didn't
But
really
yeah,
either.
they got their first day at the Daily Planet. Essentially, they get teamed up with Lois.
And they're all interns, like
yeah,
even
so-
Lois. Like they're all around the same age. Like
Okay.
they're all like 20 years old or something.
And Lois is on the trails of like these giant robots that are among the city. And Perry's just like, fuck off, I don't care. Perfect. love Perry already in this. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's like your interns.
Just basically need to be an asshole. the whole
Yeah.
time.
He tells Lois, he's like, I want you to just show them how to make copies and get coffee. That's it. He's like, that's your jobs. And he's like telling her, like, get rid of this fascination with breaking a story.
Also, there's like flashes. We'll probably be all over the place with this, but there's like flashes of him when he's a kid. He's got his kite stuck in the tree.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like jump up and get it, and he can't reach it. And then this woman and her child are driving. She gets distracted somehow, like turns around and hands
she's
him
distracted on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
something. Somehow hits a pothole,
pothole.
which then sends her like off the road, and it looks like she's like heading towards a tree or something. And he like instinctively like tries to like reach out to kind of like help, even though he's really far away. But then all of a sudden he's like, like super speed and gets up there and actually like grabs onto it and stops it. So that's like the first time he's like discovered his powers. And then I think when he goes back to the kite, he like, does he jump up there?
He jumps up and gets it.
And then when he grabs it, and all of a
starting to
sudden
fly.
he's like floating.
He
and he's like,
notices he's floating.
So then he like learns to fly.
Yeah, and then there's another flashback part where he's a kid, and then he like basically he told he told John and Martha like, you know, what's going on with me, and then so they get shovels out and they kind of dig into the ground, and it's like presented like the ship that he came in was just massive, and like they basically put dirt over it and built their land over it. Is kind of how it seems.
In a sense. What was weird, though, is that in the second episode, when he returns, though, they say a line that appears that it's bigger than it was before.
Yeah. It's very weird how
So
they
I
say
wonder
that.
if it, like, when it initially landed, if it was smaller, like kind of like a normal-sized pod, and then I wonder if slowly over time it's, like...
It's been growing. That's what I'm kind of wondering, too.
I wonder if it's, like, terraforming, maybe?
So that's what I wonder. Yeah, because of another moment that it could make sense that it's terraforming. Before we get into too much spoilers, one big thing about it. All right, so his powers kick in when he's saving the car, and his eyes glow like bright baby electric blue, like just go full on blue. And then his powers kick in, and he races to save the car and whatnot, and has the strength to stop it and whatever. This is when he's a kid, and then he kind of like flies up and grabs the kite and whatever. Well, then they time skip, and he's a young adult and blah blah blah, and he fights these robots. And he can fly and stuff, but he gets his shit knocked around, and like he gets bruised, like black eye and stuff, and he has to have another moment where like this blueness comes in his eyes, and like it awakens him, and he heals like immediately, and so it's very anime like that. It's like he's powering up or something, or like his powers are just awakening. So it's a very different way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like traditional where it's just over time of being in the yellow sun so much that by the time he's in his mid-20s, he's just this invulnerable man of steel that can do whatever
Right.
with the hell he wants and whatnot. It's kind of like a power awakening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting to watch this story unfold in like an anime lens.
What
Especially-
I love, too, is that Jor-El does come forward as a hologram projection.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing an all-white suit with the S, and it has the cape. But what's really cool about it, and it makes to me a lot of sense, is that he's speaking Krypton's native language, and they can't understand him. To truly make it, like, alien.
That's cool.
I think that's a very good touch for this show.
Definitely. Instead of giving it away. Just...
Well, instead of like any other time where, I can just speak English, or
Yeah.
hey, the robot's translating for
Yeah.
you. Like, you know,
True.
like,
True.
or like Green Lantern, like the ring translates for
Yeah,
you.
just so
like,
happens,
yeah,
you
it
know.
just so happens to be
Yeah.
like
That's cool.
shitty insert of why this works, why everyone speaks English.
Yeah, there's always a reason,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
No, that's
What
good,
were
that's
you
cool.
gonna say though? Sorry. And if it was that, my bad. Stole your thunder.
I can't remember what I was initially going to say. I just really like the idea of seeing all of this through like an anime lens. I'm one of the very few comic fans that actually loves adaptation. I love seeing our heroes taken and molded a little bit and changed. Like I've seen the classic iterations a bajillion thousand times. Like hey, if you want to give me another 1001, great. But I'm also really cool with getting this really cool other idea that you have. It may not work. I may hate it, but I also could fucking love it and think this is a really cool idea.
It seems pretty cool.
May not like
to
the
do this.
destination, but I like the ride.
Yeah.
It's like even the Suicide Squad. Oh, I guess that should have been on the news this week. The anime by
Yeah.
what's the studio?
I don't know. What is this?
It's apparently a good studio. I don't fucking know. I don't know anime studios that well. Yeah, that looks really cool. I'm. It seems like this is something that DC's actually going for, like moving forward.
Like the
Is
style.
doing more like anime adaptations, which is something they've kind of done in the
I know what you're
past.
talking about. Yeah. Yep. Is that a Suicide Squad or a Harley Quinn only thing?
It's Suicide Squad.
It is Suicide Squad.
Well, it shows her and Joker so far.
Who the hell is doing that adaptation? I saw what
Is
you.
it like Wiz Anime or something like that? I don't fucking know these things, man. Wit Studio.
That's it.
I don't know who Wit is. What does Wit do? All right, Google.
Their anime style looks like Attack on Titan.
Wit Studio anime list.
Suicide-
Everybody shout at me in the comments about how
Suicide
big of a news.
Squad.
I knew it.
Attack on Titan,
Yes.
One Piece,
Vinland Saga,
Kill La Kill. Okay, Death Note. There you go. There's your boy.
Demon Slayer.
Akame ga Kill. Oh shit. Okay, so yeah, they got quite a
Okay.
resume. Sword Art Online, One Punch Man. All right, they got the red. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay, I'm really.
Yeah, I was gonna say
really-
it's the animation style.
Wait, they
I
do
love-
Demon Slayer?
Yeah.
Oh, GG.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
all
say,
I needed to
the-
hear.
the-
Demon
facts.
Slayer.
I
big
was gonna say
facts.
it's that animation style. I was like, oh, okay. Once you started rattling the first couple off, like, oh, okay, cool.
Dude, as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, that looks like Attack on Titan to me.
Yeah, actually, I could see that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually watched the trailer. That's the trailer. Can't show the audio, but
Um,
yeah, it's really cool seeing this. I love how Olsen or Jimmy is like a fanatic about aliens and stuff. You know, the classic, like, oh, there's an alien out there. I know they're here when there's one standing right next to him. I already really love the Lois and Clark relationship. I was actually kind of heartbroken in the first episode when he was just like, "You lied to me, Lois. Like,
yeah.
you're a bitch." And he didn't say that.
I was
That's
gonna say
basically what it is.
this took a turn.
Yeah, but in the first episode, it's like they're like he's really attracted to her, and he impresses her, and like she gets really attracted to him, and again, it's like this is like the whole thing of like they're kind of like they're young adult kids, like they're in their 20s or very early 20s, like 20, 21 years old. But it is funny because like Perry calls Clark and says, "Get back here now." He's like, "I know that Lane is just dodging me," and he's like, "Get back here now," and he just goes, "You lied to me, Lois." He's like, what the hell? And basically what she says something like, well, if I didn't lie to you, you would never have agreed to come with me. And he's like, well, yeah, because we're not supposed to be doing this. And, yeah, it's pretty good. He does get in the suit by the second one. And again, it's very just that whole thing is like so interesting how it all happens.
I wonder how many people that's gonna piss off.
Because he goes Super Saiyan, basically.
No, because Mama Kent
Hell
didn't
yeah.
make his suit.
She made the underwear. That's oh my god.
The belt and underwear,
Oh,
yeah.
that pissed me off. I was like, God, fuck it. Like he gets in the suit and it looks fine. It's streamlined.
Looks great.
It's all
Yep.
blue. She goes. It could use some shorts.
No,
it's the fucking underwear is what she
No.
makes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no. I agree, the belt, sure. Okay, fine. We'll put them all red in there. The fucking pants, though, no, they suck. I'm sorry. Actually, in anime, they're okay. They don't bug me in anime. Live action, though, don't. No. Fuck the trunks.
Oh,
No.
the trunks. Yeah, live action don't do it. It looks so stupid.
Anime looks okay, I guess. I still
Um,
prefer it without them, but
Yeah, so she makes those parts, and then so now he's Superman, and he goes and fights a woman who ends up being Livewire,
yeah.
and she's got tech, and he pulls like this crystal off of her, and when he does that, it's like it taps into like it gives him a vision, and it shows like galactic ships like ransacking this planet. Do you think that was Kryptonian stuff or just random different alien race?
My hypothesis, the way I took it, was probably
'Cause,
usually since Krypton usually implodes on itself because of Krypton's greed. I'm assuming that's probably Kryptonians going out and conquering other worlds.
That's what I took it as too, because also like you said, I took the whole like ship thing, and they were like, "Oh, it's grown bigger." I took that as like, so is it terraforming the
And that's
planet?
that's what
Or it's
yeah
going to
exactly.
terraform
That's
the
what
planet?
I'm thinking as well. I think they probably sent them off in a pod to land there, and they would slowly terraform the planet,
Right. Yeah.
and Krypton would be born anew.
Yeah.
Because there have been some iterations where Jor-El is kind of
It is very interesting.
at least morally gray, if not potentially evil.
Yeah.
But then there are the lines where it's like, no, he's good. Like there have been some that I were like, oh, he seems like a villain, but he's a good guy in the end. Like he's a very gray character. He's very moldable when it comes to the Superman mythos. Like you
Case
never
by
know
case.
with Jor-El like what he is
Yeah.
exactly.
What's interesting too is when he gets the vision of like why he was sent to Earth, and like Jor-El is basically shows him. They show the sun that's by Krypton, and like a missile or something gets shot into it, and it was yellow, but it turns it red, and then it just kind of gets it ready, and then Krypton's exploding for whatever reason, like, and then it just kind of shows him like take him as a baby, like from his mom, and puts him in the pod, and the pod gets shot off. So it's definitely it's very different.
I really like it though. I've been thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah. It's just the first 2 episodes on Max.
That's another thing I'm really excited for. Is it comes out Thursday midnight. Oh yeah, that was the thing I wanted to bring up.
I don't.
I'll bring that up.
I don't
after.
get why it's on Adult Swim.
Yeah, I don't get why it's on Adult Swim. Yeah, unless they're gonna pull an Invincible. I don't know why this is on Adult Swim.
Right, where it just gets very violent later.
Which the animation does remind me of
Invincible,
Invincible actually more than it
Yeah.
does actual like traditional Japanese anime. It has a little bit of that flair to it, but it reminds me of Invincible more.
If they, I agree that it would make sense why it's on Adult Swim if it gets like Invincible, where it will get very violent very quick.
Is there even any blood? Is there does anybody even get cut in this? Does Clark get a cut on his cheek? I can't remember.
He just gets the black eye.
I don't think there's like any blood potentially. I don't think there was a curse word ever thrown in this. Like the whole time I was like, I don't understand why this is on Adult Swim.
Well, it's rated TV PG.
Is it?
If you actually pay attention to
then
the
I
rating
don't understand
on it,
why this isn't on Cartoon Network instead.
Yeah, when you just start the episode in the corner, TV PG, I saw it immediately and I was like, why is this an Adult Swim show then?
Right.
But what I do love about it is it comes out at Thursday night at midnight, aka Friday morning, which means that it gets released on Max on Saturday, aka I have my Saturday morning cartoons again.
Bingo.
And this
Shit, it's the second Google suggestion. Why is My Adventures with Superman on Adult Swim?
because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because adults watch it.
Adults love Superman. Throw it on there. But yeah, highly recommend. I can't wait to see this unfold a little bit more. I'm really intrigued to see this whole almost anime. I mean, I doubt they'll all connect, but this whole anime universe that they're kind of going for with all these different characters.
Quick sidebar. I had a proud dad moment the other day. In relation to comics. Grace, I asked Grace what she wanted for her birthday, and she told me she wanted magazines. And I was like, "What kind of magazines?" She said, "Funny ones." I'm like, "Well, I don't know if there of any funny magazines." I'm like, outside of comics. I was like, "So, do you want like a comic book, or do you want a comic book series?" "Yeah, comics sounds good." I was like, "Do you even like any superheroes?" I'm like, "I've never heard her talk about them." She goes, "Superman or Spider-Man?" I go,
Random.
"Yes." Yeah, like, yes. Like, absolutely. So I'm gonna go to the comic store when I set up my stuff. Birthday presents galore.
I would get.
I'd say if she likes Spider-Man a lot, I would see about getting her Spider-Gwen.
I was gonna say I would get Spider-Man or something in the Spider-Man universe. Girls just eat him up.
Yeah, I mean,
That's just they do.
If that's
Spider-Man also is usually traditionally very young reader friendly because it helps. Very self-identifying for
right, and that's what I'm hoping this gets her foot in the door.
Yeah, I don't know about doing Superman, especially like I'm reading like the newest Dawn of DC on Superman, and I feel like that's more for adults.
Yeah,
Mainly, I mean, it's for adults because of like not only like it's just like the material and the writing itself.
Right. Yeah, no, it would have to be something really intro. I mean, she's a really strong reader.
And
so.
I would like Jay said, do like Spider-Man or Spider-Man. Don't do Spider-Man 2099.
No.
Obviously, definitely not the anti-hero of Venom or the Carnage.
Right. Yeah.
There also is.
She'll have to find
I
her
know
way to
DC
those.
used
Those
to.
are for us.
Yeah, she'll have to find her own way to those. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
that.
those are for us until. She's
I don't
a
know
little
if
older.
Marvel has anything like it, but DC used to have some stuff that was like they used to have Little Gotham,
Yeah.
which is more of like a younger reader comic book, where it's more meant to be like kid friendly and more for kids. There's stuff like that out there too. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's usually really easy to get into, and
Yeah, I'll find some good ones for her at the shop and see what she thinks. See if she holds on to it.
Yeah.
If that gets her foot in the door, I'll be happy.
so what would you give this, KP? What would you give this? How are you feeling?
So far, like a solid, like, I mean, I really enjoyed it like you, so I'm just going to say, like, it's got like a solid 8 out of 10 so far for this intro for me.
So I think, yeah, I'm just gonna combine the first two together because I just watched them back to back anyway. I'm gonna give it a.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did last night.
These 20-minute episodes, 2's like 1.
I think I'm sitting at like a 7.7, like pretty
Yeah.
close to an 8. Like, just
Yeah.
it's good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to it next week.
I like some of, the differences. I'm a little, the verdict's still kind of out for me on the whole, like, just it's interesting definitely on how the powers are working and that, and
I kind of think they're taking a little bit of well, obviously anime inspiration, but I think some of like where the electricity comes from is like the weird run. Like, is it like the
Yeah, I know
90s
what
or
you're talking
80s
about.
where he like splits up into Superman blue and red, and he's got electric powers and stuff, which now has been passed down to one of the Superboys now, because now he's got the electric powers and whatever. It was a botch, okay? They tried to make Superman not boring, and they fucked him up, bull. They fucked him up even worse than being boring.
That man's got so much going on. I don't see how he can be, but so many iterations.
Yeah, I think that wraps up my adventures with Superman. Can't wait for next week. So now what we got? Secret Invasion now, episode
Yep.
3. All right, boys, let's try to get through this one. I don't know if we did you watch Secret
I
Invasion?
did.
3? Okay.
shit.
I remember how it ended, and I was
Yeah,
left being like, the fuck.
Yeah.
But let's retread here.
Essentially,
generally how it begins, I'm kind of like,
for the most part, the interactions between Talos and Fury
yeah.
are the biggest part of this episode. I mean, them arguing and them being petty towards each other.
Mhm.
You're right, they're being,
Yeah, true. Okay,
literally.
yeah.
And that was after Talos had met with, is it Gravik?
He met with Gravik.
Yeah, Gravik, and then obviously that was all kind
He
of
gets
set
the
up.
phone slipped to him about the sub.
Yeah, the burner phone with the info.
Yeah.
from Gaia.
Yeah, from Gaia.
Yes. Actually, I feel like I'm higher
What
on
was-
this show than most people, although I do have one gripe with this episode. of
I
just
will say-
stupid writing.
What was really weird is like how he meets with Gravik
Mhm.
in that restaurant.
Yep.
Unknowing that every single person in there is a Kree.
Right.
And when he gets
Scroll.
up at Scroll, yeah. Jesus.
Nice.
Goddamn war.
Goddamn war.
Thank you. Yes, Scroll. When he first gets up, when Talos first gets up to kind of threaten Gravik for Gravik making a smart ass comment, they all everyone just gets up and weirdly
changes to him.
Changes to him, which
Yeah.
is like,
Little
is that to
weird.
give Talos the impression that you might not actually be talking to the real one?
I took it as more of a power move, like everybody here belongs to me.
Yeah, we're all collectively one kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're in my world, champ.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I guess
that's kinda how I
cool
took it.
because then again, like later he makes another smart ass comment in which he stabs him in the hand with a knife, which I thought was fucking cool. And then he's choking him out, and he's like threatening to snap his neck. And
No, nobody does anything.
the people who were just like, "Oh, we're with him," are like kind of all just standing there, like, "Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?" So it's almost like
Maybe
Or-
they want him to do it.
Right. It's almost like, it's like, do
They're
y'all even
secretly
actually like...
Palpatine, just do it.
Right.
Do it.
It's like
Do it.
the
Kill
rest
him.
of the scrolls then in this moment. It's like, so do y'all even really like this guy then? Not really then. You're just weirdly feared by him because he can fight.
Yeah,
Like-
well, and I think a lot of them are kind of in that situation where they're hopeless, because 30 years have gone by and they're just assimilating, and they're like, what are we gonna do here?
I'm
We're
just
gonna-
with Jay, like you said it. I just think it's just shit writing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
mean-
just trying to justify it, but that's
I
that's it.
know you are.
There's that, but that's not even what I was going to allude to, KP. I feel like this one is also pretty egregious. Kravik goes down to Gaia's room. He's like, hey, man, we got a fucking traitor, bruh. We had to cap that motherfucker. Then she's like, oh, he must have just been a terrible liar. Like, I'm a good liar, though, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, okay, cool. So clearly she knows Gravik's on her trail, right?
Yeah.
So what
Very
does she
much so.
immediately do when they're in a car not 10 minutes later together and he's talking about flight plans? She immediately just, like, how did you not know that was an obvious trap? You were the only person there, and he's, like, just spewing out random,
Right.
like, you're going to immediately turn around and just, like, give away yourself. You're the only person that knows.
He's
Like,
giving you dead end leads. He's giving you dead end
I didn't
leads.
even think all. That's a
Yeah.
good point. I didn't even that didn't even register to me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
so
you're
then when
right.
it ends, I'm just like, well, I don't know why you're fucking surprised.
Right.
Like,
You left out all these
Like-
these intentional dead end leaks that one of them's going to show up.
Like-
It's gonna
Right.
be one of the above, and that's going to tell
But
you you're
yeah.
a traitor.
But
like, that's the
initially,
thing.
yeah, the whole he pulls those from real quick from the knife, just pulls. So they've used the machine on him by this point
Yeah.
because he pulls his hand away, and it's the extremis
Yep.
from Iron Man 3 that he fuses his hand back together.
Yep.
so he's going to be our super scroll.
Super scrolls.
You know
That's
that.
what he said. I like that.
Oh, yeah, he did name drop it.
Yes, he did.
Well, we know
he
he's
did
probably
say-
going to get all four of the powers at least, if not every scroll.
Right.
Because it's already been shown in the trailer where he uses Groot's power. So,
So
we
he
got
is-
Extremis and Groot's power, so there's only two more left.
What are the other two that they're trying to use?
The Frost Giant, and I would imagine the other one probably... What is the other one? Groot, Extremis, Frost Giant.
Did they name them in the
Something else.
episodes?
It shows on one of the screens
Yeah,
that
the
this guy is
screen.
looking through. What four?
Oh,
I can't remember what the fourth one is.
Me either.
okay. Well, I've been watching this show, but I don't know.
It's not the greatest so far.
I think
Yeah.
overall how I feel, and I'm like torn on it because there's so many times where like the writing is like
Yeah, I didn't even
hit your head against the wall
that
dumb.
didn't, and
It's
that
like
didn't
lazy.
even.
But
kinda.
there are the acting in this show is really like there are so many scenes that like grab me though at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, like he said,
Talos and
Talos and Fury
and then
scenes are
Fury
great.
and Rhodey. Like there have been so many good like
Dialogues.
like there have been really well written dialogue scenes
Yeah.
for characters, and there are really good character on character scenes. But overall, when it comes to the plot, there's just been some weird choices when it's like, oh, we need to get here, so we need this to happen in order for us to get here. It's like, well, how are we
Right.
going to do that? Well, let's just do this.
Yeah,
And it's just like, well, you pigeon-toed yourself into a corner, and now you fucked
Yeah.
yourself. Like that kind of makes
like-
me sad because like there's a lot of potential with this
I
show.
like how Talos made him apologize, and then he calls the other.
Oh, I'm
chick,
worthless without you. That's
I'm
what you're
worthless
saying.
without you. And
That's
he's
so
like,
funny.
he just makes him say it, and then he calls the girl, and the girl's like, she's like, you shouldn't have this number. You gotta apologize to me. And he's like, oh, I'm fresh out of those. Gave my other one away.
She's like, well, you're gonna have to.
She's like,
double your quota.
she's like, he says basically like, what for anyway? And she says like, you like sabotaged my hoot. Because I really hope that's not your name for that thing.
He's got the patch.
Yeah,
Dude.
she puts the eye patch on it.
It's so good.
I was laughing. But no, the big part about it is then they're bitching at each other again, like when they're going to. Oh God, what's the fucking dude's name?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah. Bob.
When they're going to Bob's house, they're bitching back and forth, and I personally loved this interaction because Talos is like, "You are only who you are because you used me and my people as spies for you
Yeah.
to gain all this knowledge on your planet
That you would have never gotten.
that
any
you
other
would
place.
have never have ever have gotten."
Yeah.
Where he says something like, we gain information to you on a scale of like shit that would have taken you 10 years to get or whatever. We got it for you like so fast, and your career just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Because he called him a bench warmer.
Yeah.
And he got pissed.
Yeah. He's like, I was rising through the ranks. Is what he
Right.
said.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, buddy.
He said a whole lot faster when I got here.
Right. Yeah. Basically, yeah. That's what he says.
Pretty good.
So that whole interaction of them in the car, that was really, really good. I loved that.
Yeah, and that was the overwhelming vast majority of the episode was them either in the diner talking and making each other apologize and being petty.
Yeah.
And then them being petty again the rest of it. So they're going through it right now.
Well, it's going to be even more interesting because, as Jordan said, then obviously Gia gets caught. All right.
Knocked off her motorcycle.
All right. And that scene. Did you guys notice? All right. So she does the whole thing. They can't get the code out of the guy, so Talos ends up killing him because he pisses Talos off enough where Talos is like, I'm fucking killing you. Tells his daughter, we need the code, he wouldn't give it to us. And she gives it to him. They stop the nuke from going off, whatever. It's pretty cool. But then she obviously is now an immediate, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Alright, so gets on a motorcycle, goes out of a garage or whatever, through a gate, and then it's a shot of like a minute or so of windy trails, blah, 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 and then like, oh, I fucking gotta fall down, and because blinders get thrown on me immediately, all of a sudden somehow she's like, the gate's right behind her. Even though she did all this shit. Did you guys notice that clear and blatant fuck up? I even rewinded it back to make sure she didn't go through a second gate. She doesn't.
That's funny.
So it's, yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even notice.
I did not.
I didn't even think
that.
about it.
There's just a gate behind her. So it's literally like, that got definitely just edited in. Like, they probably shot the scene where she was just going to leave, and as soon as she went out the gate... He was there, blinders on, and she falls.
No, she needs to ride this thing for a minute.
They edited in how it's this dramatical, like, going through this trail, and then blinders on, she falls over. There's a gate right behind her.
That's funny
I literally
as shit.
caught it immediately. I was like, what?
That's funny
and I
as shit.
I rewinded it, and yeah, she doesn't clearly go through a second gate.
That's
so
funny.
That was edited horribly. And I was just like, oh my god.
That's fucking,
I was like,
that's fucking funny.
I just couldn't even get past it. Like, you know, she gets shot and everything, and I'm still sitting here like, this is edited so horribly.
That's tough. That's tough. That's a
probably
tough
being
one.
a little loud and excited just because I was proud of myself for catching this blatant screw up. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
go back and watch it, all of you out there. It's bad.
That's fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how that ends, right? It's like the
So
car
yeah,
line.
so like what Jordan says, like, well, what do you expect? So he shoots you. Yeah. Again.
And she changes. Like they all. Like
She
one-
did change.
Mhm.
Okay, because the other thing too is then a couple days later, Amelia was like caught saying how she may or may not be done working in the MCU.
Like maybe she changed, like to
Fool
fool
him.
him. Yeah. Like
I mean, maybe.
It's
I just,
possible.
I would say if you're that scared of that dude, he's gonna make sure you're dead. Like,
Right.
You know, like he's gonna make sure you're dead.
Maybe it is what you were saying. Maybe she was still alive and she changed just to make it appear like she's dead then.
Yeah.
And then maybe she actually will be wounded going to Fury and Talos then for next episode.
Probably laid up in a hospital bed recuperating while they're wanting more information from her.
Probably.
So it's going to be a comeback couple of episodes while they're getting their ass kicked by the rebellion or whatever they're calling them.
I could see that. Well, it doesn't really end. So no, what truly ends is the twist, or the cliffhanger at the ending.
Yeah. The
So
confirmation.
he theorized it from the last one. So Fury's wife is like, okay, I'm done with
Oh, I
this,
forgot
and then
about that.
she goes to a safety deposit box to get
Yeah.
a gun.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
Who
about
the
that.
hell knows what she was planning to do with it? But there's obviously other Skrulls that are clearly watching her. She notices it, so she goes to get a gun, then makes a phone call, or she gets a phone call,
Yeah.
and she says, I want to speak with Gravik, and it's very obvious that it's then Rhodey on the other end of the line, and he's like, well, you're dealing with me.
He says, yeah, well,
You're dealing with me.
Yeah.
So that's where I think his theory's right, where I think this Rhodey is a Skrull. And Rhodey, we just maybe haven't seen it because it's been out of focus. He's one of those people that are all connected to those machines.
Yeah.
That he's just sitting there and like it's been glossed over, or it's been so out of focus in the shot that he's probably one of those people. Like the real Rhodey is one of those people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have to go back and watch it. In the second episode, do we ever see the lower half of his body? Because that's the thing, is he's supposed to be paralyzed, and he needs the like armor man, Iron Man like tech to be able to walk.
Right.
Well, yeah, doesn't he have like almost Batman like bracers?
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I think he has like bracer type things that are like mechanical that do it for him. I think that's
Okay.
what they did.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, because
Do we hear him walk when he walks?
Because he was sitting down. I think he
Hear
sat
little
down. Is
pistons.
all you saw him. You saw him
Mhm.
sit down, but that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
it's interesting, and the other thing too is like, how long has this Skrull been intimidating him too? Because he is in the Falcon and Winter Soldier for like an episode at
Yeah.
this current position that he's got, where he's like right next to the president, basically.
Yeah.
does he act odd in that show too?
No, I don't think he does.
It'll be interesting to have them explain away this like with Rhodey and Bilbo. What's his last name?
Oh, him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They left that. They left that just hanging out there.
Yeah,
for
that's
now.
still kind of hanging out there. If that was like, has he been a Skrull the whole time, or like was that just a Skrull imitating him?
And
In that moment.
is
And
he
then-
like maybe potentially down there with Rhodey captured on one of those machines too, or is he just dead?
Yeah.
I don't know if the Martin Freeman character, so Everett Ross, I don't know if Everett Ross is actually dead, just because like he was getting arrested, but then the Wakandans freed him out of that van. So I would wonder if the real one's just in Wakanda hiding because he has to from the U.S. government, and then that was just a random Skrull deciding to essentially imitate him.
Yeah. True.
They definitely got some questions answered down the road, and they only got like what I heard. They got
3
three.
left.
Like this is the halfway point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
other
the
thing.
half.
It's just kind of like, all right, you guys
Ooh.
need to kind of get some stuff going.
Get going. Yeah, I didn't know that. I never even thought
Yeah,
about
this whole, I don't know, man. Well, how do you guys really feel about this mini-series shit that they're doing? Do you think?
I'm been over it.
that. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
It's
like,
stuff that
you
that should
guys
have just
want-
been a fucking movie, but
was
you
gonna
wanted
say,
to dilute it and stretch it out and put it on your streaming service, and the story suffers because of it.
Right, like I
Yeah.
feel like the story, like you need more than 8 episodes to me. Like you should at least be making
Unless-
10.
I'd take
How long
30,
are
40
these?
minute
Are they an hour
episodes,
long?
10.
I can't remember. Are they 45-ish minutes?
That's the other thing, is it's so thrown up in the air. Like one's an hour long, the other one's 40 minutes. This one was like basically 30 because the credits roll for like 7 minutes.
Yeah, so
That's
whatever
cl-
it is, take off 10 off the top.
That's
Yeah,
something.
pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
something that annoys me about Disney Plus in general with all of their fucking shows.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There's
every
no
single show.
consistency with how. And I get it. Like, there's going to be some minute differences here and there, but like when you.
You got
I'm trying to think of like.
you got
I think there's
you got-
literally
you
like
got
a
7
Mando
minutes.
episode that's like 47 minutes, and then
Yeah.
the next week it's 27. It's like,
annoying.
why is there a 20-minute difference
That's
between
what I
this
mean,
week
is
and this
like,
week?
They need to. That's why it's like. I don't know. That's why I'm saying this shit all just. They need to have like 10 episode seasons and have them all streamlined of being like. It's
45 minutes.
Mm.
Or
Yeah,
it's like it's 30 minutes of content.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
whatever you decide.
I don't give a
fucking
shit
stick
that
to
you have
it.
your.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that you have your 8 to 10 minutes of credits because you need to credit every single different language studio team.
But here's my
But,
thing.
like-
Don't do it at the loss of the viewers because you're not making it for TV anymore.
Right.
You know, like it used to be 23 minutes for everything because there were 7 minutes of commercials.
Right.
You know, so now that you don't have that restriction, don't say fuck it. We're just gonna have 7 minutes. We'll do whatever length of episode we feel like.
Fuck it. We'll just like
Yeah.
credit every foreign language we make this available in for the team that does that foreign language.
Yeah.
Oh, genius, dude. That's how we can fill that time. No. Fill the time with the fucking content.
Content.
Like,
Yeah, don't let the viewers suffer because you don't have any restrictions now, and you have to fill that time with something. No, and now they're just saying, oh, we don't have an hour, and we only have 30 minutes. They only get 30 minutes. No, 45. Give us 45 consistently. At least we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there are times where I'm like, oh, yeah, I got 45 minutes kill. Perfect time for me to watch this. And it's like it stops 20 minutes early. And I'm like, well, I got 20 more minutes to kill. And it's like I was kind of looking forward to this taking up my whole time here until I had to go up to my next thing.
And I wanted 20 minutes more of things to talk about or think about or,
Yeah.
This, I don't know how to fucking gauge this series. The writing's weird, but I love the acting in it and the dialogue between characters.
I don't even know. I can't even.
6.5. Bang. I'm just coming out with 6.5. Bang.
I was
I'm
going to
with
say,
you. I'm
I
with you
would
on
say
that.
like that or like. No, I'm just going to agree. Let's all just unilaterally agree it's a 6.5. Good call.
T3P stamp of approval. 6.5.
6.5. Unison.
It's a 6.5 so far.
Yeah.
We don't hate it, but damn, it could be a lot better.
It needs to get rolling fast.
I love the maturity and the darkness and
The
grittiness
grounded
of
aspect
of it.
of
There
it.
are so many positives to the show that I do really, really like.
He almost
There's
shot
so
that
many
dude, that Skrull's junk off, dude.
Yeah.
He said, I'll shoot him. Maybe I'll go lower. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God. Don't go lower.
Getting Pulp Fiction vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that was the whole point of that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes with the gun in.
Stabs him in the leg.
Dude,
I was like, yes.
It was so interesting too. Like he has the gun up to the kid's face, and
Yeah.
like the Skrull just cared apparently, and
It was his son, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he says it was
His
his son.
Yeah.
So it was the son of Skrull, probably is
Oh,
what
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think.
Well, no, because doesn't he say like that's my son, and he just doesn't he say back to him like no, it isn't. He's like no, it really isn't.
Oh, really?
Oh, maybe.
I didn't hear
I
that.
might have missed
Maybe
that.
I missed that. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Because he immediately went, I'll let him go as soon as you let my son go. And he's like, no way. He's like, I'm not gonna let you. Okay, you obviously didn't believe him. But.
right. Maybe I'm just fabricating it in my head, but I thought that Fury said that, but it was just so interesting because he's just no one calls me Nick.
I was about to say, he's Bob. No one calls me Nick.
Yeah.
Bob.
Which, doesn't Rhodey call him Nick when they're sitting down? I feel like I saw somebody point that out. And that even like further like
Uh-oh.
hammers it home like, yeah, he was a Skrull.
Oh,
He
that's
calls him Nick.
That's great. If that's the case, that saves a lot of their writing. Because that's awesome.
Oh man.
That-
Man.
That's crazy. And because when he said I volunteered to let him go, I was like, dude, this just doesn't feel like his character.
Mhm.
And it would
Let's
make
say Rhodey
sense
fell
because Fury was able to handle his security detail, which means Fury knew that the security detail was a human, and he didn't want to kill Rhodey, even if he did know he was a Skrull because he called him Nick. He wouldn't want to kill Rhodey in front of that security detail because then he would change,
Yeah.
and the detail would be like, "Well, what the fuck? Explain yourself, then."
Yeah.
and he's like trying to keep it real close to the chest because he doesn't want to spill. Like, yeah, I kind of used an alien race to spy on the entire world and their powers because they could shapeshift into whoever the fuck they needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's how I like basically became like more important than the president.
And that's it. and that's it in a nutshell.
Look, hey, that's on me because now they've all went rogue and
That's
we're
the cliff
kind of
notes of
fucked.
it.
But you know,
It's a secret invasion.
yeah, Mr. President, it's a secret.
Roll credits.
Yeah, roll credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do a lot of work in these last couple episodes to.
It's like Fury. It's like the Hangover scene. Fury just calling Mr. President. Yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah. There's about a milli of them there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think that wraps up this week, right, boys?
that does.
That's it.
That's everything.
So next week we got look forward to the next episode of My Adventures of Superman, Secret Invasion, episode 4, and then we also have Green Lantern Earth 1
Yep.
Volume 2 review. So I finally got my grubby little hands on it. So me and KP will have that for you guys as well next week. So shout out to you guys for tuning in, watching, listening, however you do please. If you would like audio only, we are on Spotify. And of course, if you'd like to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, we are on YouTube. You can follow us on the toxic Twitter at official T3P.
Definitely do that. Yeah.
Look out for us to potentially make a move, or at least I will. Yeah, if you could give us a like, subscribe, ring that bell notification if you guys would like to get notified anytime we post a new video on YouTube. And please, please comment. What would you like to see? Would you like to see on the show moving forward? Is there any changes you'd like to see? We are very, very open to it. So until next week, I'm your boy J-Sip.
I'm KP.
And it's your boy the Bull.
See ya later.
To the window, to the wall.
No.